Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Luke and Lewis. Very special guest episode. Today we are joined by Jack Post. Welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you, guys. Why am I clapping? I don't know. You clap.
You can clap for yourself. That's all good. We're a very supportive show here.
Hey, well, I got to ask. I know you guys have Keelan and Ruben working for you. Lewis, why are you doing all the back end, running around, checking if I'm ready, giving me the Zoom password? Shouldn't that be the lower level?
Jack, you raise a great point.
That's a great point. Yeah.
And as someone who's I guess worked your way up in the industry, obviously humble beginnings on Hamish and Andy, and now you're on the Christian O'Connell show. Yeah, now you've sold out, but you would know all about getting that job done. Do you have any advice for Keelan, who should have done that job?
Yeah, Keelan, you got to, unfortunately, at the start, you got to do all those kind of jobs. I never spend my time on Hamish and Andy going oh, Andy, could you go get Kylie Minogue coffee? And I'll just talk to her while I'm down at the street level getting a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you spend your free time of making your own side projects within the first year, just filming yourself blending Blue V and bananas together on your own YouTube channel?
No, I would never be so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's actually a really good
crumb. What is happening?
Crumb of the month. What is crumb of the month? Crumb.
What's
You're
happening?
no good fucking crumb. Get off my bench. You're the crumb of the month.
Turn it off. Oh my God. I apologize to everyone's ears.
Oh no. This is not good. How do I... Is it still going? I can't tell what's playing.
This show is so shit. We try and get better.
Is that off?
Yeah, it's off now.
Okay, you know what? Sorry. Lewis, it looks like it's at your end because you're holding the equipment. But again, Keelan, this is your job, man, to make sure
this wouldn't have happened if I wasn't operating my own panel. That's the problem. I'm going to put it on the floor. It can't fall any lower than that.
Yeah,
so what we just
heard
about and referencing Keelan, is he even here? I haven't heard a peep out of him. Is he not allowed to talk?
I just have nothing to say.
Therein lies the problem.
It's my place.
Oh, man. Well, what you just heard was a combination of the strange horn sound effect and the crumb of the month opener played in unison. And that was a bit strange.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
What happened? Did you knock on the floor or put your feet
to the desk? I dropped the panel onto the floor there. And I think we can all agree that's Keelan's fault.
Yeah. No, you know what? The other thing I wanted to do is, as somebody who's spent a career being the guy who everybody makes fun of and the lowly member of a team, Keelan is with you guys, I want to bring support to that person and tell you Keelan is going to be all right. You just naturally become the easiest person to make fun of because the name's not in the show, and things will look up for you eventually.
That's not really why we make fun of him, though. It's usually
that's why
more to do with his personal life.
Keelan's lower than the and in the show, you know.
Oh. Okay. No,
Feels for me because we're on a Zoom chat looking at each other. He's turned his video off and he's not saying anything. It's like we're kicking, punching a dead body at the moment.
We love Keelan here. He does a great job. The Blue V stuff I'm not really on board with, but other than that, he does a great job.
Literally 2 weeks ago, he tried to get a lifetime supply from Blue V, and just an update on that one, guys. We have received no response as of yet from
They ignored
V.
my DM. I sent them a DM. I got a blue tick. Ignored it. You know,
surely Blue should respect Blue, and that's disappointing.
That's what I thought. You know, I mean, I've actually noticed because Jack, do you have a blue tick?
I got it only on Instagram.
Only on Insta. When did you get that?
Maybe three years ago.
So was that Hamish and Andy blue tick? Or was it a Christian O'Connell blue tick? You
would never be able to guess where it came from. I did 4 episodes of a podcast with the Essendon Football Club. Yep. I was going to be my idea was to weasel in there and then become the guy at Essendon. And they did 4 episodes, and then the next year they didn't invite me back again. But during those 4 episodes, the guy at Essendon Football Club got me the blue tick.
Ah, nice.
Wow, that's good.
We worked out a way to rig the blue tick on this show. We got Lewis a rigged tick.
I saw is it you make the fake accounts.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to differentiate the fake from the real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I got it organically, because they were already fake accounts. And then I requested it because I was like, oh, there's so many Luke Kidgel accounts. How will we know which is the real one, you know?
No, there weren't any fake accounts. It's just Luke looks like every other guy on the platform. It's hard to tell.
Maybe it's just, look, I would say I'm a part-time listener of the Luke and Lewis podcast. So I'd only drop in every few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you have a fight about who's got more followers every episode. Is that just the ones I'm dipping into, or does that happen every week?
Usually every second. Yeah. And it's not a fight, because a fight's something that like, I guess, keeps on going. Like, it's just like I get a win every time, you know, unless we're talking about YouTube or any other social media platform. But actually, no, I think YouTube's, don't make us fight again, Jack. All right. You're coming between us.
It's starting again. It really is starting again.
All right.
No, I think it's something that we keep going back and forth on. And ultimately, you know, Luke's had a few wins here and there, but long term, I'm going to smash him. And
well, here's the thing. It's Lewis has the followers where it counts, which is YouTube. That's where the loyalty and also the money is. I have followers on all the dog shit trash social media apps that no one cares about, like TikTok, what else? Facebook and Instagram.
What's happening with TikTok as well? Because I saw, is Instagram now, is this new thing on Instagram fake TikTok?
Look, this Reels thing, Reels, I was initially excited for it because I thought that maybe they were going to do what they did to Snapchat. But now I'm a little bit more apprehensive. Now it just looks like Instagram's going to go the same way as Facebook. They're going to try and become 67 different websites at once. And then everyone's going to go, I don't know what this is or why I'm here. I'm going to use the new thing. That's what happened to Facebook. You open Facebook and it's like videos, ads, posts, stories. And you're like, why am I here? It makes me angry. And then you go on TikTok.
If Facebook didn't have Messenger, they would have one of the lowest user, it would just be one of the least used social media platforms in the world. People only use it to message their friends because it's just such a good contact list of 500 people that you added in 2015.
Yeah, that's the only reason I go on is because that's, for whatever reason, that's where our family group chat was.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So every now and again, I'll log back in to see what's happening on Messenger. But every time I get into Facebook, I just want to close it.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I know. It's like even posts that Luke and I put on there. We have quite large Facebook platforms. They just go terribly, and I think it's mainly because people watch your video. And it's also often my videos get really negative comments, but they do incredibly well on YouTube. I think it's they're taking out their anger of Facebook on me. They're like, oh, this video sucks. They don't realize it's actually Facebook's problem.
They're just hating their whole environment.
It's like, nah, mate, it's the platform. And granted, my video was, a bit shit, but also don't take it out on me, you know? So what's been happening? So if you don't know, Jack is currently you're on the Breakfast in Melbourne, Gold 104 on the Christian O'Connell Breakfast Show. How's that going?
Yeah, we're also national now around the country.
Oh man, you're really grabbing the bag. Well done.
Congratulations. We love money here. And that's great because there's not a lot of cash flow that goes through, even with guests, you know. I think the wealthiest guest we'd had on before was a British YouTuber named I'm Alex. We asked him for $500. He did not give it to us.
He said no. So, Jack, now that we've found out that you're actually national, we would like $500, please.
I would say that's on the steeper end of asking for guests. You know, years ago, we had Richard Branson on Hamish and Andy. And I asked him for $100 and he wouldn't give it to me. That guy's a billionaire.
What a dog.
Yeah. And he said his first response was, I don't have it on me. And I said I was happy to go down to the ATM with him.
That's so rude.
Earning money, the value of earning money for yourself. And I just wanted $100.
I really thought we were going to get some pushback on hey boys, you shouldn't be asking your guests for money, but you're like, nah, been there, done that. Fully respect it. But
more reason why I wouldn't say if I was this Alex guy on YouTube who had money, I more wouldn't want to do it because, like, how do you wire money from the UK to Australia and, like, put in the BSB detail, account number? I just couldn't even be bothered doing that, even if I was a millionaire.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's why we decided to get you on the show, and obviously it's a lot easier for you to wire money to us because we are
just
in Australia,
a domestic transfer,
as you were saying. So we'll just shoot you our info. I mean, we can just do it on the show now. Keelan, can you put our bank details in the chat? We're actually not releasing this episode. The whole thing's an extortion attempt.
Like, I paid those guys $500. When's my episode coming out?
Yeah, this is the 60th episode we've recorded today.
Yeah, so I've had a listen to the. Did you actually
just put his own PayPal in the chat? That's not what we asked you to do.
You might actually get paid this week. That's good. If Jack's nice enough. Yeah. So, you're also, how's the radio show going with Christian?
Yeah, it's great. I'm still going. I mean, everybody knows we're in Melbourne, right? We're in Melbourne. We're in complete lockdown, stage 4. But I've got the special permit to still go into the radio station. I think for some strange reason, we fall under the same bracket as real journalists and real news broadcasters fall under, even though our show offers none of that. But they're still letting people like that go to work. So I'm still going into the radio station. So life isn't so crazy for me.
I mean, you are still, like, you're a breakfast radio show. You still cover the news, just in a lighter format, I would say.
Yeah.
No? I mean, you do. I've seen you guys do some topical stuff. I mean, it's topical, maybe not news.
Jack's going to talk his way out of the permit on this episode. This is a scoop.
I've broadcast from home the first lockdown, and that's a treat because it is annoying getting up at 5 o'clock to get to breakfast radio. But that was like roll out of bed at 10 to 6, go into the second bedroom where there's a little microphone set up and broadcast.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, that'd be very productive.
Yeah. I have a confession on this podcast. I do exactly the same thing, except we start at 10 a.m. and I roll out of bed at 9:50 and come in here and I'm like, sorry, boys, I'll just be a little late this morning. I don't think I've ever been early, and it's in the next room. I'm late to every Zoom call.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever been on time either. Early. Fuck early.
Yeah.
Now you can't even blame Ruben for giving you a lift and being late because you're
classic part-time listener reference right there.
Yeah, that's an occasional listener reference.
So is there any questions did you need us to fill you in on the 2/3 of episodes that you don't listen to?
Yeah, just so I don't miss any references. Lewis is getting a nose job.
That was just clickbait.
No, that actually might be happening. Have a bit of an update on that. I got a CT scan. And I'm waiting for the results on that, but I got my blood test results. Apparently my allergy levels are incredibly high. So either I need to be cured for allergies or get some kind of nose job also.
Which, they tell you which allergy you got, like grass, pets?
Not yet. I need to go in. I just got the call this morning. So I'll be going into the doctor. And I'm sure, as an occasional listener, you'll find out in a couple of months.
Yeah, that's right. So what was the CT scan for? I saw you went in like an MRI machine.
Just to find out if the problem is the shape of my nose or allergies. And I think it's probably a bit of both.
Did Luke just leave? This podcast is so casual. Oh, good. It's bit. To go get a drink.
No.
What are you doing?
I was just turning off my heater. I realized that there might be a slight buzzing noise in the background.
My heater's on too. Hang on.
Yeah, I just thought, it might be loud and it will improve the quality of the podcast. But yeah, minusing one of the hosts does not improve the quality at all.
Lewis talking about his personal health. This is boring.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't drop the fucking panel board on the floor. Play all the sound effects at once.
I just got I got a nose surgery only a few weeks ago, actually. I had a deviated septum. And they went in.
What is that?
So it just means your nose is bent a little bit on the inside, and it meant I could only ever breathe out of one nostril. And
that's what happens to me. I reckon I might have that.
Yeah. It's actually way more common than I thought. Apparently 75% of people are deviated.
Wow. Yeah, I was reading it's because...
I'm reading that out of both. Although one's less.
I don't know. Maybe this nose chat isn't the best material for a podcast.
No, because now there's a bunch of people listening to this, just what you do is you just test each nostril at a time. It's a great listener game.
Yeah.
Right. And you see if you're one of the 75%. I think 75% was a big call, Jack.
That's what Dr. Eric Levi told me. But now I'm breathing. If I do the test that you did, both sides I've got access, whereas previously I didn't have access both sides. So it does make a difference if you get the surgery, Lou.
Okay, all right. I'll have to let you know.
And were there any other questions? Any other things we need to fill you in on, just so we're up to speed?
What? Lewis has a toy. You don't have a toy, Luke.
Lewis is selling a toy.
Well, actually, incorrect, Jack. It's not a toy. It's actually a collectible vinyl figurine, and it's available at u2s.com.
AKA children's toy.
No, it's a collectible. You wouldn't play with it, okay? It's very fragile. In fact, I broke mine. The hand fell off.
Well, that's a good ad, isn't it?
Oh, no. Yours won't be fragile. I have the test version, which is 3D printed, and it's real fragile, but the actual figures are not. That being said, you wouldn't play with them because they're collectible vinyl figurines, not toys.
You're not getting one, Luke?
No, I have not purchased one yet.
Like you're not getting your own statue. You don't get it.
He doesn't meet the requirements.
Oh no, you have to be actually successful on YouTube and be able to move a bunch of units of them.
Mate, your Facebook tick.
True. You know what? If I promote it on TikTok, there's a bunch of kids there. The toys would probably sell great. I should probably start selling Duplo or something like that, like merch. And but no, I just it's just not for me. The thing is, the reason why it's so on brand for Lewis to have a toy is because he has a whole shelf full of them. Behind his videos. And also the Lewis, the reason why I didn't get one, it's not because I don't want to support you. I actually thought about getting one, and then I realized it's kind of weird to have a figurine of your best friend in your house.
It is a bit of a, it's almost like if you know the person, it's a
just
bit of an
weird.
effigy,
like if I have that on my desk, I don't know. I don't want to look at you every day. It's weird.
Yeah, that's
Would
true.
you have one of Hamish and Andy or something like that in your house?
No, probably not. But I'm
exactly.
Like you. I'm not a toy guy. When I first moved out of home, I lived with my cousin, and he was a big toy guy. He had Jay and Silent Bob. You know, all those movies, the different Kevin Smith franchise, and he had stacks of those toys, and even kept them in the little plastic. Kept them in their box for.
Open them, all right. I don't want to see my figure in the box. Open it, enjoy it.
Is anyone keeping it in the box? Have they said if they're keeping it in mint condition so they can sell it later on?
A few people have bought two. That I understand. One for the box, one for the shelf. I understand that. And in fact, I encourage that. And may I say, please buy three.
The thing about like this is what happened with my housemate when he had all these toys out. Is like he obviously went through a period where he wanted to collect them, and he spent a lot of money on them, built up a huge collection, like the shelf that you got behind you in your videos, Lou. It's like he's got so many. And then he sort of grows out of it. People tease him, but because you've made the investment, it's hard to get rid of the toys.
Yeah, that is the issue. So for me, I love it, and also, but also for me, it's a bit of a backdrop. So it has a purpose. Yeah. Whereas there was a period before I was filming videos where I was collecting shit, and then one day I just looked at my shelf and I was like, what the fuck do I have all this garbage for? Yeah. And I got rid of a bunch of it, and now I just have like stuff that I actually like.
But again, it is hard to get rid of it because you have to admit that this is a regrettable phase of my life. As you're putting them in the bin, you have to have a bit of like look inwards a little bit and go, am I a child or an adult? And I get, by the way, and people should buy 3 toys. One for playing with because it's a toy, one for the box, and also one just to use as the shelf item. Yeah, I would encourage people to buy 3.
Yeah. Do you have any are people sending you videos of them playing with it? Like, you know how you make dolls?
That better not happen. I don't want to see that. And stuff. No, don't give them that idea. That will enrage me.
Lewis already posted a video on Luke and Lewis of him doing it.
I did. Bit of hypocrisy here, but that's fine by me.
All right, and I guess my last question is, where are you up to in general with merch? I saw that you got rid of all the bad socks. What are you up to now?
We're cleaned out.
Oh, no merch.
No merch. No, that's not entirely true.
We have one thing left. Well, technically 6 things, but it's a bit of a bundle. Luke, you explain?
So we got rid of all the socks. That was great. Buy Sock was the ad campaign. It worked. And then we realized we had 96 leftover regional tour promo posters with the dates on them.
Oh, yeah.
So like they're completely useless.
Didn't you burn them in a fire?
Yeah, we sold them for 48 hours online, and then we had 6 remaining that we turned into ash. Yeah. And now the ashes are currently being auctioned off on eBay to get that extra coin. And I think they're sitting at like 1,200 or something.
Something stupid like that, yeah.
Something ridiculous. We don't know if it's bots or if it's a legitimate bid, but I guess we'll find out in a week.
It's not a legitimate bid. Come on.
No, we did. No, because it was going for $20,000, which was bots, but then eBay eliminated the bots, and then it said the next remaining actual bid was 1,200.
Oh my God. Even if that is somebody,
they won't pay.
Would you accept the money off them? I feel sorry for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. $20,000. Think about what we could do with that. I've just checked the auction now. It's back up to 20,000. So Jack, you're going to have to bid on this to tip it over that.
Yeah, you're the only one we know that might actually be able to afford it.
Why do you guys think I'm rich?
Because you're on a breakfast radio show and you also work for Hamish and Andy.
Even if I could afford it, I don't want your ashes.
But you can't afford it. So.
Look, I think to us, Jack, anyone who makes money off their own show is fucking baller, because we have yet to hit that amount. All of our money goes to Keelan and Ruben.
Well, I've noticed you've become a little bit anti-radio in your time since Modern Digital and your period on Fox FM.
No, we're very pro radio, and we would like you to tell everyone who has the position to hire that. We're very pro radio.
Here's the thing: this has been the thing from the start. We're very pro cash on this show.
You said that.
No, look. Here's my honest thoughts on radio. I think it's fun, and I loved it. And I would potentially do it again if we had if we were given the creative freedom in the right time slot. I think it's really fun, and I do miss it.
It was so much fun.
But I love the podcast too, and that's my thoughts on it. If we could do it again and have a team, but we could keep the show and keep doing it on social media, maybe we go back.
It's just we don't like doing things half-assed, and the thing was we were doing at the time.
The guy who left the podcast 10 minutes ago.
True. You know what? And that's kind of was my point. Was like this one. There's a lot more freedom. Like when you're on radio, you can't really you really have to be there 2 hours before to make it a good show. Yeah. Like you can't just roll in at 10 minutes before with the planning process and stuff. So
that's what Jack's been said he has been doing.
Never mind, Jack does it every morning. So.
Maybe that's what we had to do to do a good show.
Yeah, it depends if you want to do like sketches or parody songs and that sort of stuff. Then you definitely got to get in early so that you're to write stuff and produce it. But
essentially we were just doing too much traveling at the time. We were going into state almost every second weekend, and we kept on having to do the show via ISDN, which is
what was
radio term for
about radio, I suppose, was we weren't in control of our own progression. That was the thing that made us kind of go, because they were like, oh, if you really want to move forward, you need to move to a regional town and do regional breakfast, and that was just not possible for Luke or I, because we had so much other shit going on.
I think that's an old school idea anyway. Yeah, sure. Before the internet, the best way to work your way up in radio was to go and they would give you a breakfast slot in, say, regional radio. Yes. You could learn your craft there, and then you could come back to a major city. But what you guys are doing is giving you way better flying hours now than you would have got in regional radio.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. It was just frustrating. Sometimes it got to a point where we would do a month of radio, and then we would have 2 months off, and then maybe do a month there. And we just kind of were like, oh, how about instead of fucking around finding out when you can put us on, we'll just do this until you're ready for us.
Yeah.
And we'll come back if it's right, or we'll just keep doing this. I think it was just, we wanted to be in control of our show and when we were putting it out, because our fans were like, when are you doing the show? And we were like, we're not allowed to, kinda.
Yeah.
People didn't even know when we're on, because we kept changing time slots once a month. We have to post about we're now on Sundays. We're now doing the fill-in slot. And which is really good. But it was just one of those things. And we got put into a meeting and one of the content directors, or I forget who it was, but we hadn't actually spoken to him much, but he was just like, oh, look, obviously it's now come to the fork in the road where you guys are going to choose between stand-up or this. And he goes, and I think the decision's pretty obvious. And Lewis and I just went, yeah, stand up. And he went, no. Like, we were just not on the same page at all.
Yeah.
And
but we're stopping now because you guys can't do stand up in the country.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely at the last laugh.
Wrong decision, huh?
Yeah, but at the time,
do you feel like you miss it, or like you're getting a whole year here where you're not progressing in stand up?
Oh yeah, that's pretty shit.
I would love to be doing radio right now.
So you get
to leave the house.
Yeah, the thing that I miss with radio is having that the team that's like, because with what we have now is we have people pumping out video content, which is amazing. But what I really missed was having producers who would be like there helping ideas, helping you execute ideas. Just like the team and the machine around radio is so big that you can do so many amazing things, and you have people there that can help you execute it. Whereas here, obviously, it's much smaller because it's a smaller budget. That's what I do miss. But,
and what that's good for is it frees you up to do what's the important stuff. Like then you guys only have to be focused on doing the content.
Oh, that was the best part of radio. Like the fact that we weren't the bosses there. So like at the moment, like we spend a lot of time running the business, Luke and Lewis, to keep it going so we can keep employing people and keep doing all this and that. We're on the phone talking about, like joint bank account or like payroll, stuff like that. And a lot of the creative time is taken up by doing it yourself. But I guess that's the trade-off.
And do you find you're doing an equal share of heavy lifting with that stuff, or is one of you do more of the admin?
He's trying to tear us apart. Lewis, don't let him do it to us.
He's trying to tear us apart. Okay, we share everything equally, and everything gets done equally.
Yeah.
He's trying to break us up.
Yeah.
So I think, but I also think, that being said, podcasting and what we're doing is there's so much freedom in it, and I think that there is so much potential with it as well. In a long-term sense, because you're in control of your own destiny. So for example, 10 years in radio, at any point, someone else can just go, all right, fuck you. And you lose 100% of your progression. Whereas with the internet, it definitely takes a lot longer, I think. But I also think that it lasts longer, and there's potential to get even bigger than any radio show.
Yeah, and I think it's merit-based as well. The more work you put into it, the more you get out of it, which that is not necessarily true.
Well, that was
it's just like sometimes radio is luck of the draw. Like it is obviously merit-based, but sometimes it is also like if there's a slot, depending on other people's contracts, sometimes a position opens up all of a sudden. Sometimes there's not an opening for 2 years.
Yeah, I think we got to a point where the radio, we were like, oh, we're ready. And the radio were like, you're ready. And then we had to look above us. And then there was like a 3-year deal, 5-year deal, and we had to wait for either someone to finish their contract or get Me Too'd. It was too hard.
Yeah, and even if you wait the 3 years, you're not guaranteed they're going to go with someone proven. Somebody can come out
get some bachelorette cunt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. That's one of the reasons why I started the podcast recently that I'm doing on my own now, is just because you never know when radio is going to dry up, or no one listens to radio anymore, or you're right, like just somebody in an office somewhere decides that you're not part of the show anymore, and then at least you got something to fall back onto.
Yeah. Yeah. So your new podcast is called Jackie Road Studios.
That's
it. And you speak to guests and then afterwards write a song about that episode.
Yeah, that's right. So the idea came about because I was trying to get better at recording songs and making, like, I've made a bunch of songs on Hamish and Andy before and on Christian O'Connell's show.
Also a band member with our friend of the show, Radio Mike.
Yeah, of course. Release the Sounds.
Release the Sounds. We've already done the exclusive Mike side of Release the Sounds interview on the drop of the album, or was it an EP? It was an EP.
I guess it's
like a half
8 songs. Yeah, I guess it's a
mixtape.
Mixtape. That's good. Sounds a lot more street.
Yeah, I love doing that sort of stuff, making songs. So this was an idea of going like, if I interview a guest each week, then I'll be able to take an idea from something in the interview and use it to write a song. So it's a bit of a two-parter podcast, interview based, and then the song at the end. And
so does the guest listen to what's the time period between interview and song?
Yeah, it's like a week. So I say goodbye to the guest, then I go and edit the guest, then I write the song. So they're not still like waiting on hold or anything.
Yeah, that would be a really shit day, wouldn't it? Like you do an hour interview, it goes great, and then you go, all right, so just sit here for 6 hours. I'm going to like brainstorm a song, and then you can listen to it.
Come back halfway through. Yep, just the drummer's just finished now, just laying down the guitars, not long now, just please hold.
So are you making like the drums and stuff on the computer, or are you getting a drummer and to help you record?
I started just doing it all myself, and now listeners of the podcast are coming forward and saying,
that's cool.
I play drums. Yeah, so the drummer I used on the last 2 songs is this awesome guy who's played with Friends of Rom, which is an Australian punk band that is one of my favorite bands. Yeah. He's got his own YouTube channel and stuff, and he's awesome. And he came forward and said, hey, if you ever want drums on the song, let me know. So I got him, and then I've done the same thing with different singers and a guitarist. So it's cool to like now farm it out, or not farm it out, but get different people involved with it as well.
Interrupt this program with a very special message from our sponsors, manscaped.com. How good's that?
Very good.
That is good.
Sounds like I'm doing something else, but that is the lawnmower 3.0.
It does sound a bit naughty, doesn't it?
It's a little bit naughty, but that, you know why? It's that subtle, quiet sound is one of the best parts about this shaver, Lewis, which you can get at manscaped.com.
Yeah, doesn't need a question mark, just manscaped.com. That's all. But you know what you do need, Luke? A discount code. And that code is?
Sound off.
Fuck, man. Come on. We want people to use this thing.
I thought you were going to say it.
No, that was an open-ended question. The code is?
Sound off.
Now, is there any spaces in there, Luke?
No space, despite what Keelan put in the last episode. 0 space.
No spaces at all. Code sound off, 20% off, and free shipping. How good's that? Your nuts are going to look so good, guys. In fact, your nuts are going to look so good that after you use this product, Luke actually said he wants to see the after picture. If you're over 18, we want you to shave your nuts and then send the finished product straight to Luke's DMs.
No, you know what? This product's so good that I trust you. I don't need to see the picture. I trust how good this product is that I believe you.
But at the same time, we know that it's going to work out great, but Luke would love to see the results anyway, because as much faith as we have in this product, Luke loves a bit of shaved nuts.
I swear to God, if I get pictures of people's nuts, I am going to be thrilled for the show, right? I'll be like, great, I agree. Thank you for using the code, but also don't send me pictures of your nuts.
Manscaped.com, use code SOUNDOFF for 20% off and free shipping. It supports the show. So if you want to help the show continue, you got to support the brands that support us. We're very grateful to Manscaped, and we'd love for you to use the code. We really do stand by their product. It's really good stuff. So manscaped.com, use code SOUNDOFF, 20% off, free shipping, and you get to send a picture of your nuts to Luke.
No, that's not part of it. That's optional.
All right, back to the episode.
I guess, I got a message from Radio Mike about a month ago going, hey, Jack wanted to know if you'd be interested in coming as a guest. I said, yeah, absolutely. And then, Jack, I never heard from you.
Have you guys seen the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer says to one of Elaine's ex-boyfriends, Elaine says hi. And then he said, hey, I told your ex-boyfriend you said hi. And Elaine goes, I didn't say hi. Why did you say I said hi?
Is that what this happened?
I never asked Mike to get you to ask podcast. He just told me one day, he's like, hey, Luke would come on the podcast if you want him.
That's definitely not what was said.
That was absolutely not what was said.
What you're saying, like, Jack's looking for guests. Never have Luke on the show.
Well, no, I did have a conversation with Mike about possible guests for the podcast, because I asked him, who's the kind of people you'd want to hear on it. And he said, I think Luke and Lewis would do it. And I said, well, I hope so. I mean, I helped you when you guys first came into radio. I helped you make your demos. So
he literally you're the reason why we got a job on radio.
Yeah, have we talked about that before? Jack is a huge reason why we this ever even started.
Thank you, guys.
So the thing was, we went in, we did our little demo. Lewis came over to my house and we recorded this break about fonts. right? We talked about like that you hated when people wear a different font on their hat to their jumper, which is super weird. And how arrogant is that?
That's just bad graphic design on your person.
We then sent that to Dave Cameron, Sam Kavanagh, all these like really high up people in the radio industry. And like, it's pretty arrogant.
The Illuminati of radio.
Our font chat is just going to like, we're going to win them over with this 2-minute bit of font gear. And
you know what though? We fucking did.
It fucking worked. They like emailed us back within like 2 days. They're like, yeah.
No, that's, you're missing a step. One person said, hey, probably not. You're too controversial, Lewis. And then his boss messages was like, boys, I love it. Come in for a meeting. Woo!
I do remember, didn't Sam Kavanagh, so for people who don't know, Sam Kavanagh, there was a long-time producer of Hamish and Andy, very instrumental in making Hamish and Andy.
He's a genius,
Didn't he tell you, he's like, yeah, we can do it, but Lewis, you have to stop swearing on like your YouTube channel and stuff. Because
he's very radio, which totally fair enough. He's probably right. He said, this is great, but you're too hot. We can't touch it. And then Sam's boss, what I think was like, I like it, but I can't take the risk.
Yeah.
And then his boss went, well, I can.
Yeah.
I don't think Dave knew enough about you at all.
No, he did. He did because
AB didn't even know that we had Instagram followers until like 6 months in. One day he was like, oh, someone said one of your videos got shared around. I got 100,000 views. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And he goes, that's great. And we're like, yeah, it's fine. And then he goes,
any of the shows on the whole network.
Yeah, exactly. He thought it was crazy that we're getting all these views. And we're like, yeah, I guess. And then he's like, looked us up. He's like, oh, you guys have got a bunch of followers. And we're like, isn't that why you hired us?
Yeah, that might be like a little bit of the reason why we're not there anymore, because they didn't get it.
But yeah, no, like that's the thing. So Dave got us in for an interview, and then he was like, we'd love for you guys to do some demos. We were like, sweet. And he goes, you just need to find someone to record it for you. And I had met you a couple of times at community radio. Did I message you or did Dave ask you? I forget.
I think there was actually a weird period. Like, all right, so Luke, I met you the first time back at community radio when you were with this guy called Marty, Luke and Marty.
Luke and Marty, the original show.
Well,
Lewis kind of came in.
Marty didn't meet the criteria. You know, sometimes that's how nature works. You know, alpha males.
Hardcore fans like Jack know. Okay.
Yeah, I like the old stuff. Where's Marty in the band? You like the original singer? Marty was like the original singer of the band.
He was.
You guy.
Yeah.
And then
You're like the Adam Lambert of our show.
No. What I'm saying, there's Freddie Mercury, right? Whatever, cool. But then there's Adam Lambert, okay? The young guy injects new energy into the show. Everyone agrees this is so much better. We love it.
But their originals suck now. Anyways.
Then I didn't see you for about 3 years, Luke, and then you came to a Hamish and Andy event, and I bumped you there.
Dude, this was so embarrassing. So I was there with my mate from running, and I'd met you before. So I was like, oh, I'll go up and say hi to Jack. But I was like I've always been like a hardcore fan of Hamish and Andy, right? Like I used to listen to them in my old golf club job. I think I listened to every single episode from like 2008 to, like I remember you doing Rubik's Cube jokes on their show. Like it was, I listened to the classics, right?
Yeah, Luke's such a big fan of Hamish and Andy. He said before this, he was like, man, if we can get this shit out of the way with Jack, we could probably get Hamish or Andy on the show.
That's not what I said. Although I was going to bring it up afterwards. No, no, but then my mate from running, it was the week that I dropped this You Don't Know Me video that went really big. And I went up and said hi to you. And then I was like, hey, how you going, Jack? And you, like, obviously very nice, had a chat to me. And then you went, oh, Hamish was watching your video in the car. He loved it. You should definitely go say something to him. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go. Because that's the douchiest thing. Like, he was like my idol growing up. And I was like, I'm not going to walk up to him and be like, hey man, I'm the guy. Like, what did you want from me then?
You could have walked up and be like, hey dude, put on the sunnies.
Put on the sunnies, but
man, you should have never retired that. That's still my favorite thing that you've ever done. That
hurts me.
That's also my
so
favorite
many
thing that Luke's done.
Shut up. That's not your favorite thing. You never liked it.
I thought it was funny. It was good.
It was all right. I think Lewis filmed half of him. So he just like
bring it back. Why do you hate it?
Oh, it was just a thing. Like I couldn't escape it. Like I could have got to, I reckon, 1 million followers on Facebook, but I would have been like the you don't know me guy forever. Yep. And like it's a thing that will get old eventually. So you might as well like stop it while everyone loves it than to be the sad guy.
Break.
Yeah, like
also, I think I really disagree with Luke bringing it back, especially now. I mean, what rules is he going to break? Like the quarantine, the mask rule. Yeah. He'll just get cancelled.
He's going to go cough in a stranger's mouth and then put on the glasses.
There's the whole quarantine segment of the sketch that you're not doing at the moment.
Yeah, that's a big market.
That is.
So then, we had just been watching that You Don't Owe Me sketch, and so then when you came to the event. And you said, "Hey, I'm the guy."
I thought it was. I would have never said anything, and you're like, "No, come on!" You really pushed me into saying something, and I was like, "That's so lame to walk up to someone you respect and go, you know me?" And Hamish was like,
"My 30-second video."
Yeah, equals now.
And I know, but Hamish was very nice about it. And then we ended up filming like a You Don't Owe Me sketch at the venue. He's like, "Oh, do you want to do one now?" And there was like one sign. It was like, no, something to do with like the bin. And I just thought it was funny that like, he was just like, there was a massive meet and greet line behind him. And it was like, no, we need to knock this out, like stat. And he was like going around looking for signs. I think maybe he just saw the views of the first one and was like, this could get some traction.
Trying to capitalize on it. That's good.
And did it do well?
I think I just posted it on Instagram. Yeah, people thought it was cool because Hamish was in it.
And then I don't know how much people want to go. Like this story's sorry, this story's getting way longer than I wanted it to. But, but in that week that I met you at the Hamish and Andy event, you reached out to me, and then we ended up going for breakfast. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You ordered pancakes.
Yeah, and you paid for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck, that's borderline a date, isn't it?
We went to breakfast somewhere that they either didn't have pancakes and then you just weren't going to eat, and then
did I make us move?
Yeah,
that's so. But in terms of like networking and
that is very on brand.
That's the worst shit you could ever do. Imagine if I was meeting someone that's like very important in an industry I'd like to move into, and then I go, "Oh, this place sucks. They don't have pancakes at fucking 1 p.m. Let's move."
Yeah, it shows that I'm not a beta. You know, I'm just like I want what I want, and I think Jack respected that.
No, I thought it was total child mode. Like you can only eat one type of thing. You can't eat bacon and eggs. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then I think at that breakfast, you were like, "Oh, well, Sam and Dave from Fox FM want us to do a demo. Is that why you're coming to see me?" But it was just a complete coincidence. So then I think from there you said, "Oh, well, if you can record it, that would help out."
Yeah, and then we came in after Hamish and Andy for like 6 weeks in a row, and you'd stay around after work.
Yeah, you really got so awful about that, job, didn't you?
No, that was nice of me. I was going through like an Ari Gold from Entourage period where I was like, I'm going to find the new talent out there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it was good. And then, Jack used to help us record our demos. And it was very, I reckon I don't know if they're out there somewhere. I think they are.
I have all of them.
They're on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. They're unreleased. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked for them because I thought, wouldn't it be funny to bring them in to the show today and surprise you guys with them, but I didn't have them.
I think there's some of them on our YouTube channel. If you look up
they're all on
demo.
There's like a best of, but there's like the hidden ones. I still have I know where they are. They're still.
Oh yeah.
If you guys are still doing this, one thing I noticed about your dynamic before we started the demos each week was, so say for Hamish and Andy, we pitch ideas to each other, and then if the rest of the team doesn't like it, you sort of go like, yeah, that could work. Maybe let's put it to the side and come back to it. You never outright say, no, that's a shit idea. With you guys coming in to record the demos, you would pitch each other an idea like, hey, why don't we do fonts on T-shirts? And the other one would go, no, that's a shit idea. That's not funny.
Yeah, we still do that.
We still do that, yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's just honesty. Like, no one gets offended at, like, I don't know, because it's not personal.
Yeah, but it was
so like, you don't suck, your ideas do.
So raw.
Yeah, we have an honesty policy on the show, especially when it comes to negative feedback.
I just think that's always been our relationship with feedback on content because that's how it started in stand-up.
Right.
Like you can't beat around the bush. Like if Lewis goes up and tries a bit.
That's probably from stand-up comedy.
Like I don't want to see him go out there and bomb again. Like if he goes, what'd you think of that? And I'm like, oh, well, it didn't get a very good response. Maybe you should work on this one. Like there was this bit that he persisted with for ages and everyone told him it was shit. This IKEA building a, what was it?
No, it was this bit that I thought, you know, when something like resonates with you so much, you just assume everyone must feel that way. It was like that. And when I explain it to people, a lot of people were going, oh yeah, great. My fucking internet's out. This sucks.
Oh, we can't for you.
We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh, you're back. Okay. It's this weird thing with Zoom. When the internet stops working, the audio keeps going. The video just pauses. It's strange.
Yeah, your video's fuzzy, but we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So it's this thing where I would explain it to people and people would go, oh yeah, that is annoying. It's like, you know, when you go to a cafe and you get food, right? And you get something that's like avocado, eggs on toast. Yeah.
Yep.
And how they'll present it to you is what they should do is they should go bread, and then avocado and then egg, and then next to it, bread, avocado, egg. But often what they do is they go bread, and then avocado, egg on top. And then one bit of bread ends up dry as fuck, nothing on it. The other one ends up looking like SpongeBob's cum rag.
That's a good bit. I mean, I can relate.
No, it's not. It's relatable. It's not funny. That was the SpongeBob's cum rag bit was the only funny bit that ever got a laugh. The rest of it was just me yelling about these fucking cafes don't know how to present their food.
People used to watch it and go, yes.
Yes, that is a little bit annoying.
The desired outcome for stand-up, with the audience agreeing with you going, well put.
Oh, yeah, that happens. That does happen.
Yeah, that is slightly annoying.
But I had to tell Lewis probably 10 to 15 times to stop doing that bit. And then eventually he retired it. But it was a good 2 months of persistence. And he's like, it's going to work. And I'm like, it's not funny.
And from that point, when Luke goes, no, that idea sucks, I go, yeah, you're probably right.
You guys indulge me and tell me what the fog bit is?
Well,
as the representative of the fog bit, I'm going to have to deny that request. It's only at shows that you can see it, and only upon request as well. Unfortunately,
but shows aren't on anymore.
Well,
and that's too bad for everyone, isn't it?
What's the vibe of it?
The vibe is
the best bit of all time.
Is fog punchline, or is fog just the area to play in?
It's a lot of fog and mist related humor. Packed into about 3 minutes, and it's people. Here's the thing: people go into it now with incredibly high expectations, and every time people come out going, for some reason, it was better than I actually thought it was going to be. That's always been the response from all the regional shows.
It's the best bit of all time. What we realized was to properly enjoy the fog bit, you have to go into the bit thinking that it's the best joke of all time, because beforehand it was all right. It was like a 6, but if beforehand you go, man, the fog bit's going to be the best bit of all time, you know, believing is seeing.
But now people chant it at shows. Yeah. So, you know, like, cause the audience is like fog bit and chanting, the hype's are real. As soon as they hear that first missed joke, it's just a bunch of fog fans doing what they do best.
Start the show with it then. If everyone's chanting it, do you have to come out of the gates with it?
No, I usually say if you're well behaved, I'll do it at the end.
Yeah, you have to make them wait because you know, if you do it at the start,
otherwise
it literally is all downhill.
Yeah. I can't top the fog bit. It's absolutely.
You know what it is?
Closer.
I've just realized it's the fog bit. You have something that a comedian usually never has, which is like you're like a wrestler with their famous finishing move. Where everyone's just like, man, I just can't wait for the RKO. I want to see that shit again. That's like the fog bit. Comedians don't have that.
Some people came to a regional show and came to multiple shows on the tour. Like they drove to places and stuff. And I've had people actually come up and tell me like, mate, I thought it was good the first time. It hit hard the second time.
It's your RKO. It's the tombstone of comedy.
It is. Now, Jack, one thing I did want to bring up is last week, or it was this week on your Instagram story, you were putting out a bunch of people were relating to you having dark showers in the dark.
Oh, yeah. It got a way bigger response than I thought it would. sometimes you don't know if you're the only one. So the idea is you turn off all the lights. It's got to be dark outside as well, so that no light's coming in through any window. And you have this sensory experience of not being able to see anything, but you feel the water on your body. You hear the water hitting the ground. It's actually very meditative.
But it's not great for hygiene.
Well,
I mean, it's not bad, but it's just if you actually have dirt on you, I guess it makes it a little bit tricky.
Yeah. I didn't know, this came up on Christian's show maybe in the first year that I was on it, that you're meant to soap up every time you're in the shower. Sometimes I would just go in the shower and do a rinse, and apparently that's not sufficient.
I do that all the time. I think that's fine.
Oh, see, now I don't do it anymore because every caller made fun of me, but sometimes I used to just get a rinse.
Lewis is like a known grot on this show. It came out a few months ago that like half the people who work on our show don't even use deodorant. So do not listen to his hygiene advice.
No, but look, my understanding was if you use like soap all the time, it fucks your skin.
Not if you buy good soap, like good natural soap.
Yeah, I got told by a doctor to use like a dermatologically recommended body wash that's not a soap.
Every shower, I definitely soap up torso, pits, and general area. I'll maybe sometimes once a week just to do soap the legs or whatever. I don't often find myself soaping my legs.
Fuck the legs.
Sometimes I go for runs and get dirt on my calves. But anyway, gym stuff, you wouldn't understand.
So I imagine, Luke, you're the kind of guy who'd be like Lynx body wash.
Back in the day, for Christmas. Because I used to get an uncle and auntie used to buy me a Lynx Africa gift pack every single year because I'm the most bogan person alive.
I remember I would get the gift pack as well that had the little loofah in it.
Yeah, I've gone through a fair few Lynx body washes, but now I just use whatever Meg buys. It's always girls always know like which ones are good. Meg. Meg. You gonna say Meg?
Are you guys talking to me? Or-
Yeah.
What? Did I miss something?
Yeah. Occasional listener.
It doesn't matter. You're such a part-time listener.
We don't explain that one. We don't explain that one.
Shit. See, this is what I didn't want to miss out on now.
You've been exposed.
You've really been exposed. When you say Meg, what we all say, Meg back to you.
It's just something that started.
It's not a joke. Calling it a joke is very, very.
It's something that started off air about a few months into Luke dating Meg, and we just did it, and we thought it was funny, and then it slowly crept its way on air, and now it's been going for years.
It's because you were saying egg. Like we used to be like egg, and then I started dating Meg, and then Meg obviously rhymes with egg, so then we replaced it with Meg, and now Meg does it. Like we'll all be like Meg, and then you'll hear Meg in the other room going, "Oh, Meg."
All right, consider this fun.
It's stupid, and to answer your question, that's why we're not on radio anymore.
That kind of in joke doesn't fly so well on radio.
No, it really doesn't.
1060. Do you want to say Meg? All right. I just get whatever soap. Yeah, I just get like girls seem to like know like what is best in that skincare world. So I just trust Meg, and she buys the I forgot the brand. I don't know.
So would you do a dark shower, or have you dark showered?
Well, recently,
I think I've done it once and I really enjoyed it.
Recently, I did it. I don't know why. I just was like, why not? Meg bought these like. Meg, good. See, he's learning. Meg bought some candles. I had a candle lit shower, so lights off, but there was a couple of candles.
Hello.
Did you have a bit of a pull as well?
I was going to say, it sounds sensual. It was purely just, I was like, oh, why not?
Yeah, my dark showers are non-sexual. People keep writing back and going like, "Oh, what are you doing in there?" But it's a non-sexual experience.
Nah, that's a non-sexual. I've never had a wank in the dark. That seems a bit evil.
Really, you've never had a wank in any dark room or anything?
No, I like no light source. I consider a laptop a light source, so no.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
I've never had a pitch black.
You've never had a dark, imaginative wank.
No, not with the lights off. No.
I guess
I reckon it's weirder doing it with the lights on.
I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I come from a time where you weren't always watching porn when you masturbate because it took too long to download. So
sorry, could I correct you there? You come in a time. You came in a time from then. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm used to using my imagination, but I guess you guys always grew up with.
You know what? I grew up with it, and I'm totally off it now. I don't watch it. I don't watch it like very much at all.
It
Maybe
sounds like
once every couple of months.
We've talked about this before, and it sounds like we're bullshitting because we both go, we don't watch porn. It sounds so fake.
What it sounds like.
I live with my girlfriend.
You talk about porn on the internet, and then I go like, and now of course I watch porn too, and you both step away and go, well, we don't do that, and we upon those too.
Yeah, that was a trap. Yeah.
No, but why not? Why do you do now? Just use your imagination.
Imagination in the shower.
I've talked about this on my podcast, and it's super weird, and people don't believe me, and I don't really care if you don't believe me, but I don't wank.
What?
You don't wank.
I live with my girlfriend, and we are not allowed to leave the house. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, you still
yeah. You know what? I have been doing it way less because of quarantine. Because sometimes
it started off where I was doing it less and less and less, and now it's just like.
So when's the last time you wanked?
Oh, I mean, she was in hospital actually for like she has a heart condition. No.
Come on, man, that's a bit much. Doing it in the cancer ward.
No,
come on,
not in the. She was not home for a couple of weeks.
Hospital and fuck.
It would have been.
The smell of death really gets me going.
Okay, but before then, so that would have been the last time. Before then, I don't remember.
Just wait till your girlfriend's in another vulnerable position.
It'll be time for a pull.
Oh, that's interesting. I forgot how we got here, but
we're talking about soap, I think.
We're talking about dark showers.
Dark showers.
Oh yeah, Lou always waits till he's in the shower. No, I don't masturbate in the shower too often. I don't always trust that it goes fully down the drain. I feel like it gets stuck to the top.
You think a few months later it's going to grow up?
You're going to be standing on your cum. I always think that like when I flash a spider down the toilet, I'm like, what about if it crawls back up?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, a bit of crawly cum. Fair enough. Anyway, so was there any closing thoughts on dark showers, or are we just going to move on?
I think we're out of there now.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. That was quite a dark period of this interview.
When we started masturbating at the hospital, I got sick of this conversation.
So you still working on Hamish and Andy? How's that all going?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast is now once a week. It's actually the best of both worlds for me because I can do the Christian show, but I didn't have to.
What was the podcast? Was it twice a week?
Podcast? Oh, no, I mean, back when it was a radio show and is it 5 days?
Oh, right. Yeah, because I thought it was always once a week.
Yeah, sorry. When it's become just the podcast, it's always been 1 day a week. But it's meant that I can still work on both shows, which is awesome.
Man, I've had a listen, and I think it's the best their show's ever been.
I think I agree with you.
I reckon it's better than the radio show. It's just like feels like they've hit their stride once a week.
Like I think it's as well. You take out any of the stuff that is more radio centric. Like I honestly don't think people's favorite thing was talking to guests, like talking to even if you like the guest, but having Amy Schumer on because she's promoting a movie, or having Guy Sebastian on. Like they're fine, those bits, but I reckon now that we don't have to do them anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Now you only do them when you want to do them.
Yeah, that's right.
Like for us, obviously, we're only having you on the show so we can get Hamish and Andy. But for most of the other guests that we've done, we really wanted them on the show.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the cash as well.
No, but it is true because we did the radio interviews and Amy Shark was amazing and really funny. But we wanted to do that because we had all of those videos that went viral and it was like a joke on our show, her stuff. But then
Reese Maston was always good when he came on because we wanted him on.
You guys were doing it in a perfect way, which is like you have guests on because they're coming in being part of your world.
Now, Luke, I know what you're thinking. We don't need to say it.
What was it?
We have to talk about it. The worst interview we ever did.
Conrad Sewell sucked.
Oh no, I was not gonna say Conrad Sewell.
What are you going to say?
He was awkward, but Conrad was like...
he was just tired and he didn't want to be there. True, he wasn't an asshole. He just didn't want to be there. And you know what? I totally get it. It was probably his 6th interview of the
Oh yeah,
minute.
that one like was annoying because like the people at the radio station. So the people at the radio station for that one were like, "Oh, do you want to come in and interview Conrad? He's going to be here." We're like, "Okay, yeah, he's a pretty big name. We'll come in for that." Yep. But yeah, then it didn't end up being that great. But the one time on Modern Digital, we just got pretty much forced onto the phone.
Oh yeah,
to the DIY guy from Better Homes and Gardens, the guy with the curly hair.
Oh yeah, I know the curly hair guy.
And I forget why. It was like we were trying to build something on the show, and then someone at the radio station had a contact, and
it was one of those.
We had to do it,
and we told them like, "Hey, nothing against the guy because he was lovely, but we told them again and again, like, we can't think of anything. This is a weird guest to have on our show. Yeah. It's not going to go well, and we know that for sure.
Did we air it?
You guys got to do it. I think we cut it the fuck down. Oh no, this is what happened.
It was really awkward.
I know what we did. It was a really awkward, bad interview, but they were testing him out for radio. That's why they wanted him on our show. And that's why we didn't want him, because we were like, oh, we don't want to test out a guy for radio. That's so not organic. And then what we ended up doing, I remember this, Luke, was we did the interview and then we sent them the interview, cut it out of our show and re-recorded the break and didn't tell them. And they didn't notice. That's what we did. I remember that.
That's great.
And we said, it's in the show. We cut it out.
That one. Yeah, we actually edited it. I think we aired it, but we didn't put it in the podcast because that's where the actual fans listen.
We didn't put it on the podcast. That's right.
Because we knew no one was listening to Triple M on Digital, so we're like, whatever, just put it on the show. Yeah, and it was just a shorter podcast that day.
The people are getting the scoop today, aren't they?
Yeah, you are correct. It's just so awkward sometimes when you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, that's why I love how Christian runs his show as well in the mornings, is because we don't have any guests that we don't want to have on. So we actually hardly do any, and it means we don't have to interview, the host of Ninja Warrior or somebody who's coming off The Bachelorette or anything like that, because
it's just advertising those interviews, like it's like, why do I want to?
It's not special.
Get this guy to promote a thing I don't even like,
Yeah.
So, although I thought Hamish and Andy, and I've also seen some stuff of Christian where even when you are put in that situation, great shows still do a good job of that. Like they're still enjoyable interviews to watch.
Well, I would say the same way you guys had Reese Maston and Amy Shark part of your shows. Like you're doing something that involves them, so it's easy to invite them onto the show. And that's, for me, that's always been the best type of guest.
Yeah. So what's next for Jack before we wrap up?
Well, when does this podcast airs? Tuesday, does it?
Probably Thursday.
Thursday.
Right. Well, people, I'll push my podcast because this is the biggest guest I'll probably ever have on the podcast this week. It would have come out Monday for people who are listening.
Well, hang on, you haven't asked either of us to be on.
Actually, circling back to that, I wanted to ask you guys to come on. I didn't want to do you together because I did a podcast with two people at the same time and I didn't like it as much as the one-on-one.
Yeah, we can do it separate. That's how we normally do guesters.
Yeah, so I did, but I didn't know who to reach out to first. I didn't want to make one of you feel like I was favoring you above the other. So
we'll give you the email of our agent. And so we can discuss fees and prices.
What about would you like us to do paper, scissors, rock?
That's a great idea. Okay, let's do paper, scissors, rock now.
Okay.
All right, ready? Paper, scissors, rock.
Lewis is on first.
I've
gone scissors, he's gone rock.
Sorry, Luke.
That's all right.
Unless you don't want to come on.
Yeah, Lewis just politely declines and goes, Luke, there you go.
I'll go on first.
Next thing you know, I'm talking to Keelan.
Yeah, I'll send Keelan as my representative.
But my guest this week is US comedian Nikki Glazer. So everyone, check out this week's podcast.
How'd you get organized that? Was that through radio?
Well, actually, I knew her already back in when Hamish and Andy did the Gap Year in New York. One of the producers on that show was an American guy who dated Nikki. So we met her over there then, and we've kept in touch with him. So kept in touch with her, and each time we go over there, we go and see her live. And so she's fantastic.
So funny.
She's so funny. Yeah,
she's really good.
Yeah, she's great. Awesome. Cool. Well, that's a huge guest. Absolutely shits in us. Jack's probably the biggest guest we've got on the show. So, Way to rub it in, man.
Make sure you guys listen to that.
No, you're great. I feel like you're the Australian Nikki Glaser, you know?
I saw you guys had Alex Williamson on the on what would be now last week's episode.
Yes.
You know, the only time I did the Melbourne Comedy Festival was in 2013. I was in the same venue as him at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he had, every night he would make me feel insecure because he had like a line snaking out the door and around the corner. And sometimes his audience would recognize me from Hamish and Andy and go, "Oh, you're the guy from Hamish and Andy." I say, "Thanks for coming." And they're like, "Oh, no, we're here to see Shooter Williamson."
Oh, that really is the worst, isn't it? That would also happen that'd happen to us, like when you're doing the festival, like, "Oh, bro, so often when you're doing festival, because you're doing like 22 nights in a row, you'd have people come up like, "Man, I love your stuff, dude. Are you doing a show?" And I would go, "Yeah, man, I'm doing one tonight." And they go, "Oh, I'm busy," which is acceptable because, you know, you don't just see a show on the MIM. And that's when you hit them with, "Don't worry, man, I'm doing 21 more." And then they go, "Oh, I'll try and make it." Because no one's busy 22 nights in a row. So
it's great. They think they've got out of it.
Yeah, it is good. Putting it on him.
Yeah.
But make sure you guys see Jack Post's show at the Comedy Festival that happened a few years ago, and definitely check out his podcast.
Thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.